My birth mother ditched me as a baby because she was too young. Now she's back and demanding I support her financially. When I was literally 3 weeks old, my birth mother, Gloria, left me with my grandparents, her parents, and said she was going to the store and just never came back. She was 19 at the time and apparently decided parenthood wasn't for her. My grandparents were already in their 60s and couldn't raise me long term, so they arranged for me to be adopted by this amazing couple who became my real parents. My adoptive parents never hid that I was adopted, but they didn't have any info about my birth parents except for some basic medical history. They were always super supportive about me potentially wanting to find my birth family someday, but TBH, I never really cared that much. Like, I already had parents who loved me and showed up for every dance recital and helped me with algebra homework and took care of me when I was sick. I wasn't missing anything. Fast forward to last year when I got one of those Ancestry DNA kits as a birthday gift from a friend. I wasn't expecting anything crazy, just wanted to see what my ethnic background was. I did the test, uploaded my results, and didn't think much about it. Then about 8 months ago, I got this message through the Ancestry website from someone claiming to be my birth mother. She said she'd been looking for me for years. Lie. And that she'd never stopped thinking about me. Another lie. She asked if we could meet up for coffee, just to talk, and sent me some old photos of her holding me as a newborn. I was curious, I'll admit it. And maybe a tiny part of me wanted closure or whatever. So after thinking about it for a couple weeks, I agreed to meet her at this coffee shop halfway between our cities. Gloria showed up 20 minutes late wearing this designer bag that probably cost more than my rent. The first thing she did was look me up and down and say, "You have my eyes," which felt so icky and possessive. Like, no lady, these are my eyes. You don't get to claim parts of me after abandoning me for 26 years. She spent the first half hour talking about herself, how hard it was to give me up. She didn't give me up, she abandoned me. How young she was, how she wasn't ready. Then she started dropping these weird hints about her financial situation, how her landlord was raising her rent, how her car needed repairs, how medical bills were piling up. I just sat there getting more uncomfortable by the minute. Then she dropped it. You know, in some cultures, children take care of their parents when they get older. I nearly choked on my latte. Was she seriously asking me for money during our first meeting after 26 years of zero contact? I told her I needed to get going, and she asked for my phone number. Like an idiot, I gave it to her because I was so thrown off by the whole situation. The text started that night. First it was just, "So nice to meet you," and heart emojis. Then 2 days later, she sent a long message about how her car broke down, and she needed $600 for repairs. I ignored it. 3 days after that, she asked if I could loan her $1,200 for rent because she was going through a rough patch. When I didn't respond to those, she switched tactics. Started sending me baby photos of myself I'd never seen before, telling me she'd kept them all these years, in a shoebox she suddenly found, I'm sure. Talking about how we needed to make up for lost time and how she always regretted not being in my life. Then she started calling, multiple times a day. I blocked her number after a week of this. The final straw came last month when she showed up at my apartment. To this day, I have no idea how she found my address. I was getting home from the grocery store, and there she was, sitting on the steps to my building. She had this big fake smile and was acting like showing up unannounced was a completely normal thing to do. She got up and tried to hug me, and I stepped back. She immediately started in about how she was about to be evicted and needed $2,000 or she'd be homeless. Said she had nowhere else to turn, that family helps family. I set down my groceries and told her straight up, "Gloria, we're not family. Family doesn't abandon a 3-week-old baby and disappear for 26 years. Family doesn't show up out of nowhere asking for money. My real family is the people who raised me, who were there for me every single day." She started crying, saying I was cruel and heartless, that she gave me life and I owed her, that she was young and made a mistake. I told her that being young might explain leaving, but it doesn't explain staying gone for 26 years, or only coming back when she wanted money. She tried to grab my arm and I pulled away and told her if she came to my apartment again, I'd call the police. That I wasn't her personal ATM and she needed to figure her own life out just like I had to do without her. She started screaming that I was an ungrateful brat, that she should have aborted me if she'd known I'd turn out this way. That's when one of my neighbors opened their door and asked if everything was okay. Gloria stormed off, but not before saying she'd be back and that a real daughter